The first thing that we will begin with is we will begin with the fundamental concept of muhasabatun nafs from the Quran. And the most obvious place to quote this from is Surah Al-Hashr, between ayah number 18 and ayah number 20. In the statement of Allah Azza wa Jal, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu attaqu Allaha wal tanzur nafsum ma qaddamat lighad wattaqu Allah inna Allaha khabirun bima ta'malun. ولا تكونوا كالذين نسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم أولئك هم الفاسقون لا يستوي أصحاب النار وأصحاب الجنة أصحاب الجنة هم الفائزون. This or these three ayat, this is what we would say is al-aslu fi muhasabatun nafs, fi muhasabatin nafs. This is where we start from. This whole topic, it comes back to this ayah. Now bear in mind, this is not the only ayah. We heard, for example, the ayah in Surah Al Imran, which the Imam read in the first rak'ah. يَوْمَ تَجِدُ كُلُّ نَفْسٍ مَا عَمِلَتْ مِنْ خَيْرٍ مُحْضَرًا. And there are more than one group of ayat which talk about this topic. But if you want to say one ayah that brings this topic really into focus, it is this ayah in Surah Al-Hashr. Likewise, the ayah in Surah Al-Qiyamah, وَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِالنَّفْسِ اللَّوَّامَةِ. And really our discussion today is all going to be around an-nafs al-lawwamah, the soul that criticizes and blames itself. You look at yourself and you look at what is there, and then you blame yourself for where you're falling short, and you correct where you're falling short. This is the topic that we want to speak about today. Al-Imam ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala in Ighathatul Lahfan, and most of the quotes today, they came from this book. The book Ighathatul Lahfan, in the first volume, and most of it is between page 83 and around 152. A lot of discussion on this topic. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, دلت الآية على وجوب محاسبة النفس. This ayah tells us that it is wajib. It's not recommended. It's not from the completion of your good deeds. It is wajib upon you to take your soul to account. فيقول تعالى لينظر أحدكم ما قدم ليوم القيامة من أعمال أمن الصالحات التي تنجيه أو من السيئات التي توبقه. He said, what Allah is saying to you, this is Ibn al-Qayyim's tafsir of the ayah. He said, what Allah is saying to you is let each individual one of you look at what you put forward for Yawm al-Qiyamah. O you who believe, have taqwa of Allah, and let every person look at what he put forward for tomorrow. What is tomorrow here in the ayah? Yawm al-Qiyamah. Let everyone look, what have I done? What will be in my account Yawm al-Qiyamah? Will it be righteous deeds which will save you, or will it be sins that will destroy you? That's what Ibn al-Qayyim, he says, that the summary of the tafsir of the ayah is this. Let everyone look at your deeds which you will find presented to you Yawm al-Qiyamah. Are they the good deeds that will save you, or are they the bad deeds that will destroy you? He gave a definition in Madarij al-Salikin. This is in the first volume, page 169. Where he, Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, defines what is meant by muhasabatun nafs. He says, التمييز بين ما له وعليه. It is for you to distinguish what is for you and what is against you. Or you can say, what have you done? Yani what do you need to do and what is yet to be done? فَيَسْتَصْحِبُ مَا لَهُ وَيُؤَدِّي مَا عَلَيْهِ. And so what will the person do? The person will take what belongs to them and will fulfill what is obligatory upon them. Why? Ibn al-Qayyim, he says, لِأَنَّهُ مُسَافِرٌ, because he's a traveler. سَافَرَ مَنْ لَا يَعُودُ. And this traveler, he's never ever coming back. My dear brothers and sisters, we are travelers on a journey that you can never take one step back from it. You are traveling to the akhirah, whether you are doing righteous deeds or whether you are doing the worst of sins. فَإِنَّكَ مُسَافِرٌ. You are a traveler, سَفَرَ مَنْ لَا يَعُودُ. And you are never ever taking a step back where you came from. So look at where you're going to end up on this journey and ask yourself, is it righteous deeds or is it sins? He then quotes Ibn al-Qayyim from Al-Hasan al-Basri, rahimahullah ta'ala. The quote is in Ighathat al-Lahfan. He said that Al-Hasan al-Basri said, rahimahullah ta'ala, لا تلقى المؤمن إلا يحاسب نفسه. Al-Hasan al-Basri, look, he's describing how were the Sahaba and the Tabi'een. You never see a believer except he's asking himself what he's done. You'll never see a believer except he's asking, he's questioning his soul all the time. ماذا أردت تعملين؟ ماذا أردت تأكلين؟ ماذا أردت تشربين؟ He said he's constantly saying to his soul, what is it you want to do? What is it that you want to eat? What is it you want to drink? What have you done? What will you do? He's constantly asking his soul. And we're going to hear later on that this asking happens twice. It happens before you do something and it happens after you've done it. Some people have a misunderstanding. They think that this muhasabah is only afterwards. No. The Salaf, rahimahumullah ta'ala, they used to make this muhasabah before they did it. Why do you want to do this? Why are you sitting here? Why are you saying these words? Why are you reading this? Why are you going to say it? Is it for Allah? Is it? They used to ask themselves before, and then afterwards they would ask, what did you do? Was it for Allah? Was it really like that? What else? Why did you fall into this? So they would ask themselves before and they would ask themselves after. Listen to what Al-Hasan al-Basri says about the fasiq and the fajr, the one who is from the criminals and the evildoers. He said, وَإِنَّ الْفَاجِرَ يَمْضِي قَدُمًا مَا يُعَاتِبُ نَفْسَهُ. As for the wicked person, he goes on and on in his life and he never ever criticizes himself for what he did. He never stops, not for the deen, maybe for the dunya. He says, why I didn't take that business and why I didn't sell that product and why did I not take out of this job and take a different one. But never in his deen does he stop and ask himself, why did I do that thing that I did? There's another narration, Ibn al-Qayyim also mentions it, from Al-Hasan al-Basri. He mentions it slightly different. إِنَّ الْمُؤْمِنَ وَاللَّهِ مَا نَرَاهُ إِلَّا يَلُومُ نَفْسَهُ. He says the believer, in Hasan al-Basri, he said the believer, wallahi, we never see him except that he blames himself. مَا أَرَدْتُ بِكَلِمَتِي مَا أَرَدْتُ بِأَكَلَتِي مَا أَرَدْتُ بِحَدِيثِ نَفْسِي. The believer says, what did I want with this statement? Why did I say those words? Why did I eat that thing? Why did I say those things to myself? Allahu Akbar. They took themselves to account even in hadithun nafs. Even what you say to yourself in your heart, what you imagine to yourself in your mind, why did I imagine that? Why did I think that? وَإِنَّ الْفَاجِرَ يَمْضِي قَدُمًا مَا يُعَاتِبُ نَفْسَهُ. But as for the wicked person, years and years and years go by, they never ask themselves or blame themselves. Why did I do this? Or why didn't I do this? Now we've been talking about the ayah in Surah Al-Hashr. But the ayah in Surah Al-Hashr, if you remember, I read for you 3 ayat, not one. One ayah we spoke about it. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون. As for the statement إن الله خبير بما تعملون, if you don't ask yourself about what you have done, for wallahi Allah is going to ask you. Whether you ask yourself or you don't, whether you take yourself to account or you don't, Allah is going to take you to account and Allah is going to ask you. So better you ask yourself before Allah will ask you, because Allah knows the reality of what you do. As for the second ayah, don't think it's disconnected. Sometimes you ever find this, if you're thinking about an ayah and there's a topic you're studying and there's an ayah the scholars bring. This ayah doesn't exist on its own, right? It's part of a series of ayat. Look at the ayah afterwards. Maybe you will find it still connected to the topic. وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُمْ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ. Listen to what Ibn al-Qayyim says in the tafsir of this ayah. Don't be like those people who forgot Allah, so He made them forget themselves. Don't be like the people who forgot Allah, so He made them forget themselves. He said, فَهَؤُلَاءِ نَسَوْا أَنفُسَهُمْ فَهَؤُلَاءِ نَسُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ. These people, they forgot themselves. لَا مِنْ جَمِيعِ الْوُجُوهِ. Don't think they forgot themselves completely. Maybe you listen to this, they forgot themselves. You think these people were zuhad. They were zahid, living outside of the world, just they forgot themselves. They forgot to eat, they forgot to drink, they forgot to marry. No. Don't think they were not like this. Ibn al-Qayyim, he says, they didn't forget themselves in everything. Why did they forget themselves? بَلْ مِنَ الْوَجْهِ الَّذِي بِهِ مَصَالِحُهَا وَكَمَالُهَا وَسَعَادَتُهَا. They forgot themselves in the thing which will bring them goodness and happiness and perfection. وَإِن لَمْ يَنْسَوْهَا مِنَ الْوَجْهِ الَّذِي مِنْهُ شَهْوَتُهَا وَحَظُّهَا وَإِرَادَتُهَا. But when it came to their desires, and when it came to their wishes and what they wanted, and when it came to their share, my share, and this is mine, or they didn't forget. They remembered everything they wanted. They remembered their shahwa, they remembered their hadh, this is mine, this belongs to me. They remembered what they wanted, they remembered it. But they forgot what is going to bring them eternal happiness. فَأَنْسَاهُمْ مَصَالِحَ نُفُوسِهِمْ أَنْ يَفْعَلُوهَا وَيَطْلُبُوهَا. So what did Allah give them? Allah made them forget the things that would bring them goodness in the akhirah. Allah made them forget what would bring them goodness, to do it. So they forgot to do good deeds. They forgot to pray. They forgot to be good to their parents. Have any of you ever had that experience? Well, I've had that experience. I'm not going to say, I can't lie. Where you forgot to do a good deed. And there's a good deed you're supposed to do, and it just, wallah, I forgot how important it is to pray Qiyam al-Layl. I forgot how important it is to keep ties with my relatives. This forgetfulness, sometimes it comes because you forgot to take yourself to account. And if you forget to take yourself to account, perhaps Allah will cause you to forget what is going to bring you Jannah. Wal-'iyadhu billah. And Allah made them forget what else? Allah made them forget to do the deeds that will bring them Jannah. There's something else Allah made them forget. Allah made them forget عُيُوبَهَا وَنَقَائِصَهَا أَن يُزَيِّرُوهَا وَيَجْتَنِبُوهَا. Allah made them forget their faults. Allah made them forget their flaws. Allah made them forget the things that they were deficient in. They forgot to do good deeds and they forgot to leave sins because they forgot to take their soul to account. And Ibn al-Qayyim, he expands upon this in Ighathatul Lahfan. He says, وَتَرْكَ الْمُحَاسَبَةِ وَالْإِسْتِرْسَالُ وَتَسْهِيلُ الْأُمُورِ وتمشيتها فإن هذا يقول به إلى الهلاك وهذه حال أهل الغرور يمغض عينيه عن العواقب ويمشي الحال ويتكل على العفو. He said, leaving off taking yourself to account and just taking everything to be easy, making everything easy for yourself. I'm not talking about in religion. I'm not talking about, for example, shortening your prayers when you're traveling. Making things, being easy on yourself. تسهيل الأمور على نفسك. And you're saying to yourself, it's nothing, man. Small sin, small sin. Making things easy for yourself. And just letting everything go. يمشي الحال. Just let everything go. Just don't worry about it. Yani, it'll do. This is going to lead a person to destruction. This is the situation of the people who are fooled by this world. Their eyes are closed at the moment of death, or their eyes are closed, sorry, not at the moment of death. Their eyes are closed from seeing what will happen at the moment of death. Their eyes are closed, they don't see what is going to happen to them Yawm al-Qiyamah. And they let things go on. And they rely upon what? يَتَّكِلُ عَلَى الْعَفُوِ. He relies upon Allah's forgiveness. And says, Allah Kareem, Allah is going to forgive me. Allah is going to have mercy on me. Allah Kareem, don't worry about it. He lets things go. So what happens? فَيُهْمِلُ مَحَاسَبَةَ نَفْسِهِ وَالنَّظَرَ فِي الْعَاقِبَةِ. He doesn't take himself to account. He never looks at what's going to happen to him يوم القيامة. وَإِذَا فَعَلَ ذَلِكَ سَهُلَ عَلَيْهِ مَوَاقِعَةُ الذُّنُوبِ وَأَنِسَ بِهَا وَعُسِرَ وعسر عليه فطامها ولو حضره رشده لعلم أن الحمية أسهل من الفطام وترك المألوف والمعتاد. Ibn al-Qayyim, he says, this person, when they become reliant upon Allah's mercy, Allah is going to forgive me, Allah Kareem. They never take themselves to account. They never look at what the end result of their actions is going to be. And so what? It's easy for them to sin. Sinning becomes easy for them. And they start to enjoy sinning. And they start to find it hard to leave their sins. If this person had wisdom, they would realize that protection from something like they say, I don't know the expression we say in English, that the prevention is better than the cure, right? That it's easier to be protected from a sin than it is to leave it later. Wallah, I believe if we took this statement and just wrote it down as a point, a fa'idah for yourself, how many people say about their kids, or let them exposed to a little bit so they won't do more later. It's not like that. If you are saved and protected from something, it's easier than having to leave it later on. As for leaving something you love and leaving something you're used to, it's very hard to leave something you love and something you're used to. But it's much easier to take yourself to account and leave it before it starts. Protect yourself from it before it starts. Ibn al-Qayyim mentions the famous athar of Umar. He mentions it in Madarij al-Salikin. This statement of Umar, فيه ضعف, and it has like some weakness in it, but it's a well accepted statement, and it's a statement the scholars accepted. In terms of its connection in the chain to Umar, and there is some inqita' between the narrator and Umar. There's a break in the chain. However, it is a well accepted statement which is commonly attributed to Umar radiyallahu anhu. حاسبوا أنفسكم قبل أن تحاسبوا وزنوا أنفسكم قبل أن توزنوا فإنه أهون عليكم في الحساب غدا أن تحاسبوا أنفسكم اليوم. He said, take yourself to account before you are taken to account. And weigh yourselves before you are weighed. In some of the narrations, وَزِنُوا أَعْمَالَكُمْ. Weigh your deeds before they are weighed. For this will be easier for you when you are taken to account tomorrow. For you to take yourself to account today. وَتَزَيَّنُوا لِلْعَرْضِ الْأَكْبَرِ يَوْمَئِذٍ تُعْرَضُونَ لَا تَخْفَى مِنْكُمْ خَافِيَةٌ. Prepare yourself for the great presentation of the deeds. On that day, your deeds will be presented, and not a single thing will be hidden. And there is no doubt of the truth of this statement, whether it is from the statement of Umar or not. It is easier for yourself to take yourself to account today than it is for you to stand before Allah and answer for what you have done.